You don't have to control your thoughts, you just have to stop letting them control you. Tabante emailmen. Anxiety is not always the storm that rages around you. More often it's the silent, persistent drip inside your chest, a low hum of dread that something bad is just around the corner. We all know this feeling, the racing heart, the shallow breath, the sense that we're spinning, even when sitting perfectly still. But here's the paradox. The harder we try to fight it, the tighter it clings. This talk isn't about curing anxiety. It's about understanding it. It's about walking into the heart of fear with a flashlight and discovering that the monster was never quite as big as we thought. So, if you've ever felt trapped in your own mind, if you've ever whispered, "I don't know what's wrong with me, stay with me," this is not about fixing you, because you are not broken. This is about finding your way home to stillness, to self-trust, and to breath. Anxiety is not the enemy, it's a messenger. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Most of us treat anxiety like a virus. We want it gone. We medicate it, numb it, ignore it. But anxiety is not your enemy. It's a signal. Think of it like a smoke alarm. It might not mean your house is burning down, but it does mean something somewhere needs your attention. Anxiety says you're tired, you're overcommitted, you're trying to control things that were never yours to hold. The body is not betraying you, it's trying to protect you. Mini reflection. What if the goal isn't to silence anxiety, but to listen to what it's trying to say? Come back to the body, the antidote to overthinking. Anxiety lives in the mind but is healed in the body. When the thoughts spiral, the breath shortens, muscles tighten. We become floating heads, detached from our physical selves. The first act of self-rescue is re-entry, not into the chaos of your thoughts, but into the present physical moment. Try this practice. Look around. Name 5 things you can see. Close your eyes. Identify 4 sounds. Notice 3 things you can touch. Take 2 slow breaths. Name 1 thing you're grateful for. Simple. Yes. Powerful. Also yes. This is called grounding, and it brings your awareness back into your body, where anxiety has less room to roam. You cannot be in the future and the present at the same time. When you come back to now, the mind begins to quiet. Label it to tame it. Name the emotion. Unlabeled emotions fester. They grow vague and overwhelming. But when we give our emotions names, we reclaim power. Instead of "I'm freaking out," try "I'm feeling anxious because I don't know what will happen at tomorrow's interview." Instead of "I feel off," say "I'm afraid I'll fail. I'm worried I won't be enough." Words are containers. When we put our feelings in words, they stop leaking into everything. Name it to tame it. Coined by Dr. Dan Siegel. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed, you're just flooded. Naming is the first step toward relief. Stop fighting the wave. Let it pass. What if I told you that the average anxiety wave lasts about 90 seconds? What makes it feel longer is our resistance. We think, "This shouldn't be happening. I need to make it stop. If I feel this now, I'll feel this forever." But like any emotion, anxiety rises, peaks, and fades if we let it. Try this. Instead of tensing up, say inwardly, "This is anxiety. It feels like tension in my chest. It's unpleasant, but it's not dangerous. I'll let it pass." You're not your fear. You're the sky. The panic is just a cloud moving through. Separate what you feel from what is true. Don't believe everything you think. Alan Locos. Anxiety tells stories, and they're often terrifying. You're going to mess this up. Everyone is judging you. If you don't succeed, you're a failure. If you slow down, you'll fall behind. But feeling something strongly doesn't make it true. A thought is not a fact, it's a suggestion. Use this simple reframing tool. Ask, is this anxiety speaking or reality? Ask, is this fear or fact? Ask, what would I tell a friend who felt this? Often you'll realize your mind is trying to protect you with a worst-case scenario, but your spirit knows another path. Practice micro-courage. Small acts, big shifts. Anxiety shrinks our world. It tells us not to go, not to try, not to speak up, not to hope. One of the gentlest ways to self-rescue is to practice micro-courage. Reply to the email, ask for help. Go outside for 5 minutes. Say no to something that drains you. Say yes to something you've been avoiding. These aren't heroic acts. They're small signs that you are still the captain of your ship, and each small win makes the next one easier. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I'll try again tomorrow." Mary Ann Radmacher. Make space for stillness. An anxious mind hates silence. It thrives on constant noise, scrolling, multitasking, obsessing. But healing comes in quiet. Start with just 5 minutes. Sit in a chair. No phone. No distraction. Just you, your breath, and whatever arises. It will feel uncomfortable. That's okay. Stillness doesn't mean peace right away. It means honesty. It means finally hearing yourself underneath the noise. Create space in your day that isn't filled with input, because your nervous system needs rest just like your body does. Be kind to the one who is afraid. What if, instead of trying to fix the anxious part of you, you offered it compassion? Imagine your anxiety as a child knocking at your door, terrified and shaking. Would you slam the door in their face? Or would you kneel down and say, "I hear you, you're scared, it's okay, I've got you"? That child is you. Speak to yourself the way you'd speak to a friend. "This is hard and I'm doing my best. I don't need to be perfect to be okay. I've survived 100% of my anxious days so far." Self-kindness isn't weakness, it's a revolutionary act. From fear to freedom, anxiety may visit, but it doesn't get to own you. It doesn't get to define you. You are not broken. You are becoming. Let me leave you with this. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Rumi, anxiety might be the wound, but it's also the invitation to slow down, to listen, to love yourself more fiercely. If you remember just one thing, let it be this. Anxiety is not a flaw, it's a sign, and you are not alone. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Send it to someone who's also learning how to breathe again, or drop a comment below. What's one way you care for yourself when anxiety hits? Your story might be the lifeline someone else needs. In our next talk, we'll go deeper into setting boundaries without guilt, how saying no can be the most powerful act of self-respect. So don't forget to subscribe or follow or come back, because healing isn't a destination, it's a journey, and I'm honored to walk a little bit of it with you.